Hello, kindergarten, first grade, and second grade. This week we are learning about repetition. Repetition is when you have something that repeats over and over. And hopefully you read through that slideshow and it showed you different examples. So we are making a caterpillar, and the shapes, the circles, repeat over and over and over. Okay, we are going to draw it with marker, and we're going to do some coloring with marker and some coloring with crayons. So really all you need for this project are some markers. I know this box looks empty, but they're all on my desk, and some crayons, and of course a piece of paper. Okay, so get your supplies together and let's get started. Okay, now we are going to start out by drawing the hill that our caterpillar's on. Notice I'm practicing with my finger first. I'm going to make just kind of a line that comes up, back down. Starts on one side and goes all the way to the other. And it's not going to be a smooth or straight line. It's going to be a little bumpy like it would be in real life. But notice I said little, not a ton. So watch Miss Thompson first. I'm putting my green marker down, and I'm just letting it wiggle a little, and I go up and back, down, just like that. Okay, so take your green marker, hit pause, and draw yours, and come back. Okay, now that we have our hill, we're going to begin drawing our caterpillar. Now I'm going to start with a red. You can use any color you want. I just wouldn't use green, since we just used green for the hill. So choose any color marker except for green, and right about here, above the hill, I'm going to draw a circle. And I'm practicing so I can see the size I want it to be, because the larger you draw it, the more interesting it's going to be, and the better it'll look. And I'm not going to try to make the circle perfect, okay, because you can't erase marker. So I'm going to just draw a large circle. That's it. All right, so now it's your turn. And then I'm going to take another marker. This time I'm using orange. You can use any color you want. And I'm going to make a circle that's attached to this one, like that. But see how it covers it up a little bit? So it starts right here, and it goes there like that. That makes it look like it's overlapping. Okay, pick a new marker, any color you want. I'm using yellow. And next circle, same thing. I'm making it look like it's overlapping. All right, pick a new marker. I'm using teal. There we go. We're going to keep going. Again, notice I'm trying to stay above the hill. This one went down a little far, but I'm not going to worry about it. Excuse me. I'm going to use pink this time. You can use any color you want. Draw your circle. It's being overlapped. All right. That is a purple. The camera always makes purple look funny. And then I'm going to do at least one more. And I think I can squeeze another one in there. I'm going to use, trying to decide what color I want to use. I'm going to use green, even though he's on a green hill, it's okay. All right, now how many of these you do depends on how much space you have. Because if you draw smaller, you're going to need more circles. If you draw bigger, you're going to need less circles. So it really just depends on the size that you drew. But either way, I have circles repeating. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have circles repeating in different colors. Now again, remember, you might not have 8, because if you drew smaller than Miss Thompson did, you're going to have more than 8. If you drew bigger than Miss Thompson did, you're going to have less than 8. So keep that in mind. Okay, now we're going to do our caterpillar's feet. I'm going to match the color of the feet to the circle. You don't have to match them if you don't want to. You could make them different if you want. and I'm drawing them with marker, and I'm going to make the feet look like little socks coming down. You see how I did that? And I'm going to color the feet in with the marker because I want my feet to kind of stand out. So there's the first one. Now I'm going to go to my second one. And so not only are you going to have your circles repeating, you're going to have the feet repeating. And here's a math question for you. You have to think about this one. Are we going to have the same number of feet as our circles? Are we going to have more feet than our circles? Or are we going to have fewer or less feet? What do you think that is? For example, I have 8 circles. So do you think I'll have 8 feet? Or do you think I'll have more than 8 feet? Or do you think I'll have less than 8 feet? I know some of you are probably going, I know, it's so obvious. I hope you all are. When I finish drawing my feet, I'm going to count them. When I was in school, I really struggled with math. I had a hard time with it. And I didn't have a good math teacher like you guys do. You guys have such amazing teachers here to teach you math and reading and social studies and everything you need to know. I had some not so great teachers. So math was really hard for me. All right, so now let's count my feet. So again, I have 8 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's count my feet now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I have more. In fact, the number of my feet doubled compared to the circles because every circle has 2 feet. All right, now I am going to go to the first circle because that's going to be our caterpillar's head. And I'm going to draw 2 bent or curved lines. What do you think those are going to become? Do you have any idea? They're a caterpillar's little antennas. And again, I'm going to match the color to the feet and the circle, but you don't have to. And only the first one has the antennas. And now our caterpillar needs some eyes. I'm going to draw 2 circles with a circle inside, and I'm going to color that one in black. And I'm going to give him a mouth. He's a happy, friendly caterpillar. Look how cute he is. All right, so now we're going to draw some repeating flowers on the hill. Okay, so I'm going to start out by drawing a few roses on the hill. I want to show you how to draw a rose first. I'm going to flip my paper over, and I'm going to use a pencil so it doesn't bleed through. Some of you may already know how to do this, but for some of you this may be new. When you want to draw a rose, you take whatever you're drawing with, and you do a spiral line like that goes around, round and round. And then you do a U, and you have a rose. All right? Again, take my pencil, and I do a swirly line that goes around, and the letter U. Again, swirly line, and a U. So that makes a super easy way to draw a rose. And then of course you can make the little stem and the leaves, even the little thorns if you want. Isn't that neat? So that's something you can use forever, for the rest of your life. All right, so back to our adorable little repeating caterpillar. So I'm going to use this color. It's kind of a red violet. And I'm going to do my roses really tiny because there's not a lot of room here. So I have my swirl and my U. My swirl and my U. My swirl and my U. And I'm just going to have it repeat 4 times. Actually, I'm going to do 5 because odd numbers are better, like 1, 3, 5, 7. All right, so there are my roses. So I did 5 roses. Now I'm going to do a tulip. Now a tulip, you do the letter U, and a zigzag line. Again, a letter U and a zigzag. U, zigzag, U, zigzag. And I repeated it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. All right, now I'm going to do just a traditional flower like you've probably been drawing since you were little, where you do a circle and you do the little petals going all around it. Circle, petals. Circle, petals. Circle, petals. All right. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 3 different kinds of flowers, and I repeated them 4 times. I'm going to do this one 5 times because I feel like it needs something over here. And you can repeat it however many times you want. Okay, you don't have to do 4 or 5 just because I did. All right, now I'm going to go back to my green, and I'm going to give the flowers some stems and leaves. Now, technically in real life, roses would not grow straight out of the ground by themselves like this. They grow on a vine or a bush, but that's one of the things I love about art. It doesn't have to be realistic if you don't want it to be. You can basically just make your own reality. You know, and sometimes that makes life more fun, to just make it the way you wish it was. All right. Now I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to color in all of these leaves solid. So let me fast forward to do that real quick. Okay, so now that I've got the leaves colored in, I'm going to color my flowers in. For my roses, I'm going to bring a different pink here, make it a little more interesting. I'm doing almost like shading to make it look a little more three-dimensional. Kinderen first, that's probably going to be a little too hard for you. You can just color it in solid. Second grade, I think you can do this. And I'll do the other half of it with crayons, you'll see at the end. And I'm coloring in my tulips, and we'll just color those solid. Second, if you want to do it like it's showing some form or three-dimensional, you can. Look, I just realized this little guy doesn't have any leaves or stem. Poor guy, probably feels all left out. What about me? All right, okay. So I'm going to fast forward and finish coloring the flowers. Okay, so now I'm finished with what I'm going to use for marker. Second grade, hopefully you can kind of see how I tried to make the lines and the coloring look like it's wrapping around the rose. Oh, my light turned off. To make it look a little more three-dimensional. But what I'm going to do now, even though I'm in the dark, oh, just came back on. Anyway, I am going to color everything else with crayon. Now, I will leave it up to you on what you want to color with, whether you want to do crayons, markers, or a little bit of both, but we're going to finish coloring it, and I'm going to fast forward starting. Okay, now I have it all colored, and you can see how it turned out. Be sure that you filled up the paper. I recommend you color the sky. Obviously, it's not required, but I do recommend it. And if you want to send it to me for the virtual art show, you can. Remember, it's always an option to email it to me if you're having trouble with the Google form. I know quite a few people have been having some issues with that. So you are always welcome to email it to me if you'd like. It's NanetteThompson@misdmail.org. And it's on the website too. Okay? So have a great week, and I can't wait to see your caterpillars.